In this tutorial, I'm going to show you the steps involved to send your artwork to a vinyl cutter or engraver. I'll also show you how to send your artwork to a large format printer or printer cutter, and I'll also show you how to export your work for others to either cut and or print out for you. In other words, I'm going to show you how to output from VinylMaster. So the first thing we need to do is have a job to output. So I go up to the Open folder up here, click on this, and these VDocs you've got in your samples folder with VinylMaster, and you can open any of these jobs yourself. Now I'm just going to select one of these. This is a good example. Click Open. I'll maximize the window. Okay, so we want to send some of this artwork to our vinyl cutter to cut out. Say this hamburger, for example, with these different colors. So the steps involved to send a job to your vinyl cutter are pretty straightforward. We select the item we want to cut, we send that to the cut file manager, we set some options if we want to, and then we send that to the vinyl spooler, and from the vinyl spooler we send it to our vinyl cutter. So I'll show you those steps. So I simply just select this hamburger, for example. Now I can come up to the file menu up here, and I can come down to cut plot, and I can click send to cut file, or I can use a shortcut here, or alternatively, select it again, I can use this button here, send to cut file. So I just click that there, and you can see it loads in the cut file manager, all color separated for me, as we can see here. Now if I select this black here, I can just send this as a single tile to my vinyl spooler, or I can cut all my colors here by clicking cut all. Now in here we have all these options here. We can set what plotter we're sending it to and what sizes we're using, and we can set things like speed width, as you can see here, and we can rotate things, etc, etc. We can do more advanced things in here like set size and position. We can do some cropping options and a whole bunch of different things we can do here, and we've got other controls down here, as you can see. But for the sake of this lesson, I'm just going to show you how to just get your artwork to the vinyl spooler and then to your vinyl cutter. All these sections here have their own help file in the manual and their own lesson, and I encourage you to go and watch those to learn how to do all these things, all these more advanced concepts. But for now we'll just send this entire job to our vinyl spooler, and in this particular case there's really nothing to set anyway. I mean this job fits well within our vinyl cutter's width and well within our vinyl that we've got loaded into our machine. So I click cut all here, and you'll see our vinyl spooler loads up as so. And it automatically separates out the colors, as you can see here, and it just shows us our current job. If I want to see all my jobs, I can click here and I can see all these different jobs, but I'm just interested in my recent job I've just sent now, which I've got here, as you can see, and I can click on these things, these example or the actual cut files themselves, and you can see the preview over here in my plotter, which is set to a GX24 here. Now I can set things like what units I'm working in, as you can see here. I've got other options like test the area. I can go into the settings here, and I've got other things I can change. I can set things like my end methods and all these sorts of things. Again, these things have all their own help files and help lessons, and you can watch and listen to those in your own time or when you're ready to do that. So once I've got my cut files all in a line here and I'm ready to go, I can simply click cut now, and that'll send it straight to the vinyl cutter, and it'll start cutting out this job immediately. So that's the steps involved. Very straightforward. I'll just cancel out of this. I have the artwork. I simply come up here, I click send to cut file. As you can see, it color separates it. I can set some options if I want to, cut all. It applies it straight into my vinyl spooler. It's ready to go. I select the item, click cut now. My vinyl cutter, so long as it's set up ready to go, will jump into action and start cutting. So that's the steps in cutting. When it comes to setting up plotters and things, you can go to the plotter settings and install a plotter driver here. You can set your settings for your plotter here by coming to these different settings here. You've got all these controls. Again, they have their own help files and lessons, and you can watch those when it suits you. So that's the steps involved with sending a job to the vinyl spooler to then send out to your vinyl cutter. Okay. Now, for example, if I had another job that I wanted to, say, do some engraving with, I'll just show you how to do that. It's a very similar set of steps. Say I've got this arrow, and I just apply some engrave fill to it. I'll just do a diagonal up engrave fill. I'll set it to a 1/2 inch tool. I might cut the original shape, click accept, and I get this job here. Exactly the same steps. I come up to this send a cut file button, click on that. As you can see, it loads it straight in here. I have some options that I can set if I want to. Again, you can watch the lessons for these. I click cut tile here. You can see it comes straight into the vinyl spooler and it's ready to go. Simple as that. Click cut now. I mean, obviously I'd set my device, I'd set my engraver for this job. Cut now, and that sends it to the vinyl spooler. Alternatively, I can also file and go down to export, and I can export this as a vector, and I can select here DXF and then send that DXF file to my my engraving or routing machine or whatever I've got. So that's how we get engraving files out. Okay, the next thing to look at is large format printing, and I'll show you how to use a printer or printer cutter. Now for that, I've already got a job here, this job here, and I want to send this to my large format printer. So I've gone ahead and I've designed all this. I've set some spot colors and things. You can see it's what, 48 inches by 36 inches. A nice big sign here that I'm going to, or big poster I'm going to print out for one of my clients. So I've got my artwork and I'm ready to rip and print this. Very simple, very similar to the vinyl cutting. I can come to the file menu, I can come down to rip, and I can press this button, or this here, rip and print and cut, or use the shortcut, or alternatively I can use this button, the rip button here, click on that, processes the job, and it loads up the artwork manager. So this is the intermediary step here, is the artwork manager, and I have some options here. What I can do here is I can say I've got spot colors in here. I can check things like use spot colors, as you can see here. I can check things like tile to media, and this tab comes up and it gives me some more options like tiling, etc. Again, all these things have their own help file and help lessons, and you can watch those when it suits you. But for the sake of this lesson, I'll just show you what you do here. You just simply click accept. That loads up the rip manager, as you can see here. Very similar to the spooler in some respects. I have my job here, I have my preview, my large format printer, some sizes, and I can literally send this straight to my printer if I wanted to. I can either rip it or I can print it. I have these options. I can set other parameters here with my job options. I can change printers here. I can change my media profile. For example, I might be printing this on some banner material. At the moment it's set to photo paper. So if I set it to say this flex banner, you can see some of the settings change. And you know, if I go to my soft proof, it will look like this. If I go to my banner paper here, my photo paper here, you can see my soft proof will look a little bit different. So it all depends on what ICC profile I've got it set to and what media profile I'm using. So this is how I do this. That's the process involved there. And once I'm ready to print this, I can simply click on print. I'm asked, do I want to proceed? I click yes. And you can see, I'll just move this out of the way, you can see that it's immediately printing this. Using two CPUs, I'm throwing two CPUs at this. You can see how fast it is. I mean, it's going through this at lightning speed. This is a 48 inch by 36 inch sign. It's already finished it. It's printed, ready to go. It's sent to my large format printer and it's printing away right now. So that's the steps involved. Again, I'll just quickly repeat that. You have the job that you want to send to your large format printer. It's based on the page parameters, so it's whatever's within the page boundaries. You've got to remember that. I come here and I click rip. Brings up the artwork manager. I can set parameters here if I want to. Again, there's a lesson on those and help files, etc. You can see those when you're ready. I click accept. It loads up the rip manager, as you can see here. There's my job ready to go, and I can click either print or rip only. If I click rip only, it places it in the job queue, and as you can see here, it's waiting to rip. And now if I click print now, it'll start printing this out. And it's as simple as that. That's the process involved. Obviously, you know, if you want to set all your different parameters and things, fine. That will obviously take longer and be more work. But the essential point is that the steps involved are very simple, as I've shown you. Now, another job I want to show you is a print and cut job, which is this future bird here. Now, I've just got a sample piece of artwork here, which is just this image, and I've contour cut it, as you can see with this outline here, this dotted line. Again, that has its own lesson. It's very easy to do contour cutting. The processes in printing and cutting are very, very simple. Same thing again. I'm worried about what's in the boundaries of my page, and this fits within my page, so no problems. I click on my rip button. It loads it in here. The difference now is I change my view. I come here to print and cut, and now I'm telling the artwork manager I want to print and cut this, as you can see. Okay, and I can just simply click accept here. It loads in the rip manager again. As you can see, it has a different icon. We go to future bird. It's just showing us the print out here. Again, if I go here to print and cut, click on that, it shows me print and cut. And now when I'm ready to print and cut this, I can simply go print. It asks for a confirmation here, or I get asked a confirmation, move that out the way. It's now printing this job. Obviously this job's 65 inches, so it's quite a bit bigger than the other one. It's 65 by 42 inches, so it takes a little bit longer. The great thing is I don't have to worry about what's going on in here. I can come back in here and do other things. You know, I can work on other parts of the job or other jobs I want to work on. I'm not compelled to wait for this. This just goes ahead on its own. It's already finished anyway. And if I go down to the bottom here, here's the job here. It's now printing out this image here, and as soon as the printer has finished printing this image, it will go through and cut this around the contour cut line. So it's all very straightforward. Now, another thing that you might want to know is, how do I print and cut on separate machines? Easy. I come back in here, I simply go to the RIP, I go to print and cut, as usual, as I've just shown you, click accept, loads up the RIP manager, I select my job, go to this view here, so print and cut view up here, and this time I just click spool to cut file. So I can print the job and it'll go ahead and print it on, say, one device. So I've got a print only machine, so I can print this straight onto a print only machine. It will ignore the cut file here, the cutting information, because it's only a printer. And once I've done that, I can go load it into a vinyl cutter, like a GX640 or something, some large machine, spool cut file. It needs alignment marks, so I just give it some alignment marks, as you can see, or registration marks. Spool to cut file here. Comes in here, as you can see, the spooler automatically recognises this as a print and cut job. Go to settings. Obviously, I'm not going to cut this on a 24-inch machine. I've got to use something like a 64-inch machine like this, and I just click on it again and it resets itself. And as you can see, it's now ready to cut on a much wider machine. So this will actually fit on this machine here, 43 inches wide, no problems. And I can click on this button here, Align Cut File, and depending on how it's loaded into my vinyl cutter, I can set these its actual position. So if this is what it looks like in my vinyl cutter as a printed piece of artwork, that's how I'd set it. Rotate 0 here, click Next. I'll set some parameters like it's a right-hand plotter. I will then put my blade over the crosshairs of the registration mark and tell it the origin is set. I'll need to reset the origin on the plotter, click Next, and then I'll come up to this position here. I might be working in inches, so I set it to inches. I set my settings here, and I can click Finished, and I'll say Proceed with Cutting. You can see exactly what it's going to do, and if I click Yes, it's gone off to my vinyl spooler, to my vinyl cutter, and now my vinyl cutter's cutting. So the steps involved with going from a separate machine are very straightforward. You just click on Spool Cut File, you select your object like this, and you click Align Cut File and run through this module here, this manual reposition module. It's as simple as that. It's really not difficult at all to do this. And as I've said, there's a separate help file and lessons on how to do that. The point I'm trying to make here is that the steps involved are very straightforward. So that's how we do print and cut. Now, the other thing you'll want to know how to do is, how do I give this job? Let's say I don't have a large format printer. I'm going to send this to a bureau, or a friend of mine has a large format printer. So how do I get this artwork to them? Easy. All you do is you simply come up to File here and go to Publish to PDF. So if I'm sending a file as a large format printer file, and my friend's machine can accept a PDF file, or their RIP can accept a PDF file, and I don't know a RIP that can't, you click File, Publish to PDF, and you just give it a name. So in this case we'll call it Flowers, just like that, and click Save. And if I had multiple pages, I'd go entire document. In this case it's just a one-page document. Now for this particular case, I'd probably set it to LZW encoding. That will give it absolute full quality. JPEG's fine if it's, you can use JPEG highest quality, you won't notice much difference, but usually when I'm sending these sort of jobs to a large format printer, I'd send it to LZW. It's a lossless compression, so in other words the images aren't affected at all. I click OK. That processes the job for me and automatically loads it into PDF for me to see what it looks like there, as you can see. Now I can just email that to my bureau or to my friend, or I can give it to them on a USB stick or whatever, burn it to DVD, whatever I need to do, and send them the artwork like that. So that's one option. Another option is you can select over all the artwork like this, go up to File, Export as Image, and you can see I've done this in the past. I'll give this a different name. I'll call it flowers1.tiff, save. Now, the resolution I set this at, probably set this at about 150 dpi, in other words, about 7,000 pixels here. That's more than enough. I can have a solid background if I want to. I can change its color, I have these sorts of options, or I can just use a transparent background. Once I'm happy, I click OK. That sends that off as a TIFF file, and that's now ready to send to a bureau or a friend that's got a machine. That's one way of getting the artwork out. So you can either go as PDF, or as you can go as a TIFF file, or you can send it as a JPEG. You get lots of options when you're exporting these things. Another example of exporting your artwork, let's say you want somebody, I don't know, to cut a file for you. You want to send it as a vector. So I'll go back to this job here. So I can simply select over this. Actually, I'll send it as a PDF just to begin with. So I go publish to PDF, and we'll give this a name, I don't know, burgers. That's fine. Click Save. Not interested in images. There's no images in here. It's only a single page document. I mean, I can type in things like my name and the title, or the name of my business, or whatever I want to call it, and the title of the job if I want to. I click OK, and you can see how quick it is. It loads it straight in as a PDF file. Now, the interesting thing about this is if I now import this, I go File, Import Graphic, Burgers, Open, you can see there. And if I go to wireframe mode, you can see that those two objects there are both cuttable. So I can now send this to my vinyl cutter by, I'd have to ungroup it, of course. Ungroup, and if I want to send this burger to my vinyl cutter, I simply come up and click on this button here, and as you can see, it's all color separated. It's exactly the same artwork, ready to go, cut all, loads it into my spooler, ready to go, etc., etc. So that's how we can export our work for people to cut out. Of course, I can also do a different file format. A very common format is AI, Adobe Illustrator, or EPS. That's another common format. I go Export as Vector. I can select some of these options here, Adobe Illustrator. I'll call this Burger. You can see I've done it in the past as well. Burger sign 1. Click Save. That's already sent it out. It's that quick. I can go File, Import, Graphic, Burger sign 1, Open, and as you can see, again, wireframe mode, ready to go. So getting your artwork out as either vectors, or as images, or as PDF files, extremely easy. Just select the artwork as so, File, Export, and choose whether you want it as an image, as a vector, or you can just use this folder here, which gives you other options as well, all different formats. So that's how we send our cut files to our vinyl spooler, how we send our large format jobs like this to our large format printer, and jobs like this with contour cut lines, etc., to our large format printer cutter. So getting your artwork out of VinylMaster and producing these sorts of things are very easy. As I've said, if you go to the help menu and go to the help topics here, you're going to find a lot of help on these things. You can see lessons that go into much greater detail than this tutorial. The main objective here is just to show how easy it is, that the steps involved aren't complex, and that using the program to do these things is very easy. And that's the end of this tutorial.